Okay, first of all, apparently our speakers are not working, so I think they can hear us well enough online, but if you can't, let us know. And for those of you here, we'll try to remember to speak up. But if you notice that you can't hear somebody, you might just kind of point it out, let Derek know or something. So we'll try to speak up.
I just point over here.
The consent agenda, are there any changes or corrections? Hearing none, we'll hear a motion on that.
So move.
Second.
That sounded like a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. Next on the agenda is a special proclamation. And are you going to give that, Gabby? Okay.
I'm Gabby, Deputy County Clerk. Today our proclamation is for the Election Worker Appreciation. Election workers in Finney County are vital to the success and integrity of elections, yet their service often goes unrecognized. This proclamation is proposed to honor and publicly appreciate their contributions. In Finney County, as across the country, elections depend on an incredible team of people working behind the scenes and on the front lines. From assisting voters in managing polling locations, to moving equipment, securing systems, counting ballots, and solving the inevitable last challenge. Conducting an election is truly a team effort. To our polling locations, thank you to the organizations and facilities that open their doors to us election after election. By allowing us to use your spaces, you provide voters with convenient, familiar places within their communities to cast their ballots. We appreciate your hospitality, flexibility, and willingness to be part of the election process. Our election workers, the Finney County Election Office is incredibly grateful for the dozens of election workers who return year after year. We are also thrilled to see a growing number of students interested in serving, and even more excited when they come back for the next election. Election workers demonstrate public service in its purest form. They dedicate a very long day, usually around 14 hours, to helping their neighbors exercise their vote. They greet and assist voters, manage polling locations, account for a lot of ballots, solve problems, follow detailed procedures, and make sure everything is conducted in accordance with the state and federal law. We are equally grateful for the Finney County employees from various departments who step away from their regular responsibilities to serve as an election worker. Election day simply would not happen without all of you. And then there's an army behind the army. Election workers may be the people voters see, but an entire team works behind the scenes to make election day possible. Human resources. Election season often means unusual schedules, long days, temporary workers, student workers, and plenty of questions that don't fit neatly into a normal workday. They help us make sure the many people who set up to serve are properly brought on board, supported, and most importantly, paid. We appreciate their flexibility and willingness to help us keep all those moving pieces together. Information technology. Our IT department provides the secure technology environment necessary to conduct election operations safely and confidently. They support our systems and help ensure the security and integrity of our election technology. Much of what they do happens quietly behind the scenes, and that's exactly how we like election technology to work. Our building maintenance staff are essentially on speed dial during election season. They handle the routine tasks they know are coming every election, and then graciously tackle all the unexpected little things somehow appear along the way. Whatever we need, they are here to help us figure it out. Public Works does the heavy lifting, and we mean that literally. Their crew helps election office staff mobilize, load, deliver, and set up election equipment throughout the county. Then just when they have recovered from doing all of that, they turn around a couple of days later and help bring everything back again. Election requires a tremendous amount of equipment to move safely and efficiently, and we could not do it without them. Election office staff, what don't they do? Election preparation begins months before voters ever walk into a polling location. Our staff handles candidate filings, voter registration, advance voting, election worker preparation, supplies, equipment, ballots, and more ballots, and all of the details necessary to ensure voters have multiple opportunities to participate and that every eligible ballot is accurately accounted for. They prepare, organize, test, count, double-check, troubleshoot, haul, answer questions, solve problems, and then double-check everything again. And then there's Mia, who carries an equally important assignment, keeping the rest of the clerk's office functioning while everyone else disappears into election world. Someone still has to do all the non-election things. And Vanessa. From June through November, we mostly just call Vanessa our boss and do as she says. Vanessa coordinates nearly every aspect of our elections, and she does it exceptionally well. Her organization and attention to detail are consistently recognized by election workers and others who interact with our office. On election day, she travels from polling location to polling location, mentoring, answering questions, solving problems, and making sure our workers have the support they need. Just as importantly, Vanessa has built wonderful relationships with our election workers. They know they can depend on her, and she knows she can depend on them. Those relationships are a huge part of why so many of our workers return election after election. To everyone who makes elections happen, elections are never the work of one person, one office, or even one department. They happen because an extraordinary group of people is willing to contribute their time, expertise, muscle, patience, problem-solving skills, and occasionally their sense of humor to get the job done. To our polling locations, election workers, student workers, county employees, IT, building maintenance, public works, election office staff, and everyone else who answers a call when we need a hand, thank you. You make elections possible, you serve your neighbors, you straighten the community, and you remind us that democracy isn't just something that happens on election day. It happens because people like you show up and make it work. Today, the alternative is to adopt the proclamation recognizing and expressing sincere appreciation to all election workers, polling locations, county employees, and community partners who contribute to the successful administration of elections in Finney County. Recognizing election workers with an official county proclamation affirms their importance to local democracy, enhances morale, and can encourage others to serve in future elections. Public recognition also reinforces trust in the electoral process and demonstrates the county's commitment to civic responsibility.
Well, I noticed that there's only one alternative recommendation, and I think that's probably wise. I don't think anybody in this room or in this building would think otherwise. So, do we have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move that we adopt the proclamation recognizing and expressing sincere appreciation to all election workers, polling locations, county employees, and community partners who contribute to the successful administration of elections in Finney County.
Second.
Very good. We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. And a big thank you to all of our election workers and our staff who worked so hard to make it happen. There was a lot going on here. I saw all kinds of activity and trucks and things happening, so there's a lot that happens behind the scenes, not just on election day. I'll read the proclamation recognizing Finney County election workers and support teams. Whereas successful elections depend upon dedicated individuals who give their time and talents to ensure elections are conducted securely, accurately, and in accordance with state and federal law. And whereas Finney County election workers, including a growing number of student workers, serve long hours assisting voters, managing polling locations, and helping ensure every eligible voter has the opportunity to cast a ballot. And whereas successful elections also rely upon the generosity of facilities that serve as polling locations and the support of Finney County employees and departments, including human resources, information technology, building maintenance, public works, and the county clerk election office. And whereas the dedication, teamwork, and professionalism of these individuals strengthen public confidence in our elections and exemplify outstanding civic engagement and public service, now therefore be it proclaimed that the Finney County Board of County Commissioners recognizes and expresses its sincere appreciation to all election workers, polling locations, county employees, and community partners who contribute to the successful administration of elections in Finney County. Adopted this 7th day of August 2026 by the Board of County Commissioners of Finney County, Kansas. Thank you so much, everybody involved. Anybody want a picture? Come on up.
Just slide out of the way.
Next, we have public comment. We only have one signed in, and that would be Alex Wallace.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Due to a rainstorm ruining the outgoing mail in my mailbox at the office, I didn't think this letter that I wrote to you guys was going to make it in time, so I decided to read it in person.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and the members of the commission. My name is Alex Walls, and as the owner and operator of Wallace Electric right here in Garden City, I wanted to take a moment to address you today. While the guaranteed maximum price has not been officially accepted by the commission yet, I want to extend a sincere thank you to the commission for your outstanding leadership regarding local trade participation on the new detention center project. Your intentional direction, to McCown Gordon Construction to actively prioritize and utilize Finney County and Southwest Kansas contractors sets an incredible standard. I believe I can speak for most local contractors in our area by saying a deep thank you for choosing to invest in our regional trade workforce. Your commitment ensures that our community's tax dollars have the opportunity to stay local, supporting regional families, strengthening our area economy as well. Importantly, selecting and investing in local contractors also ensures the continued great maintenance of this new facility long into the future, because our businesses, technicians, tradesmen live right here down the street. Finney County will benefit from unmatched accountability, immediate emergency response times, and stay committed to keeping the facility running clear into the future. Furthermore, this targeted local investment creates a powerful economic ripple effect that reaches far beyond the construction itself. Choosing to utilize Finney County resources does not only keep local contractors, it directly drives businesses to the entire ecosystem and of area enterprises that support a project of this scale. From local equipment rentals and fuel stations to regional material suppliers, agents, and local service providers, your policy keeps public funds circulating dynamically throughout the Southwest Kansas business community. We also want to recognize the extensive work and excellent communication that McCown Gordon Construction has put into executing your directive. Throughout this entire process, their team has maintained transparent consistent, and proactive lines of communication with area trades. Excuse the noise. I believe the selection of McCown Gordon Construction has a great choice to carry out the Commission's agenda by combining their great communication with accessible bid packages and localized outreach forums. They have given regional subcontractors a fair opportunity to step up and compete. Projects of this scale do not come to Garden City very often, and to possibly have an opportunity to work on a superior facility designed by Sean and the team at HM Architects is truly appreciated. Regardless of the final GMP approvals or award outcomes, your dedication to giving Garden City and Southwest Kansas businesses a prioritized seat at the table is deeply valued by the contracting community. Thank you for your public service, your transparency, and your unwavering support of our local workforce. Sincerely, Alex Wallace.
Thank you, Alex. Appreciate you speaking this morning, and I'm sure you're aware that this commission is definitely in favor of using local wherever and whenever we can. New business. Next thing on our agenda is the primary election canvass. So we will need to adjourn as the Board of County Commissioners and reconvene as the canvassers. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. And with that, we have a member who is missing today. Commissioner Schultz could not be here. He recommended Bob Kreitzer in his place, so come on up, Bob. I think, do we need to take a vote on that, or is it just? You have an oath for him? Oh, you gotta take an oath.
This sounds serious.
Up front.
So for the 2026 primary election canvass of provisionals, the county canvass is a vital step in the election process that makes results official, confirms that all valid votes are accurately counted, and upholds public confidence in election integrity. During this formal and public proceeding, the County Board of County Canvassers may review and verify election materials and abstracts to ensure an accurate and lawful certification of results for local races. To begin this process, the board carefully reviews provisional and challenged ballots, ensuring that only eligible votes are included and that the election's transparency and fairness are maintained in accordance with Kansas law. Initially, the Board of County Canvassers is asked to rule on provisional ballots. Provisional voting allows individuals to cast ballot even if questions exist about their eligibility. Kansas law encourages individuals to participate in an election by allowing any individual with an eligibility issue to cast a provisional ballot. There are several instances where an individual may be provided with a provisional ballot. The most common include a voter's address change, if a voter's not registered, voter's name change, voter failure to provide valid photo ID, voter already issued a ballot, and other less common eligibility issues. Between election day and the county canvass, the election office reviews each provisional ballot, investigates and attempts to resolve any eligibility issue, and in accordance with Kansas law and election standards, makes a recommendation to the Board of County Canvassers as to whether each ballot should be counted. While every ballot must be addressed individually, for efficiency, the provisional ballots are grouped by issue and recommended action. Each ballot is assigned a unique ID, and today the board's motion will reference these grouped ballots by IDs and determine whether to accept or reject specified ballots. Following this process, the appointed and sworn provisional board will tabulate the ballots in accordance with the ruling, and the election office staff will prepare the final results, which will be reviewed later in this meeting. The Board of County Canvassers will be provided with a number of provisional situations, alternatives, along with governing statute. The county election officer or designee will provide recommendations based on the results of the completed review of provisional ballots. And I gave you all a copy of our list of provisional ballots. And Yami, could you pull up the list? So on here, the canvas reference number, that's how we grouped all our ballots, depending on the reason they were provisional. So we can go ahead and start with the first ones.
We do these by groups, aren't we?
Yes.
Madam Chair, I move that we deny the count of COO1 through CO16.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, excuse me. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries.
The second group is C017 through C018. These are voters that had a name change. Name changes and addresses are the two major reasons for provisional ballots. And these we recommend to accept.
Madam Chair, I move we accept C017 and C018.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries.
The next is C019 to C026. These are voters that were registered in a different county, not in Finney County. So the law does require for the voters to be registered here in Finney County. So our recommendation is to reject these ballots.
So they lived in another jurisdiction, voted in another jurisdiction, and attempted.
At the time of voting, they were currently registered in a different county, not here in Finney County.
And they couldn't even vote on the statewide question?
It is on there, and that, I mean, goes back to you to either reject or accept depending on the law.
Okay.
And C26, they actually registered in Sedgwick County, went and voted in Sedgwick County, and they voted here as well?
Yes. So they voted here a provisional because they weren't registered here, but then went back and voted in Sedgwick County as well.
Okay.
Do we have a motion on that one?
Go ahead.
Madam Chair, I move that we deny the C0119 through C026. Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries.
The next set of ballots is C027 to C056. These are registered voters that moved within the county at the time of and completed a new voter registration. So they currently live in Finney County, they just changed address. And our recommendation is to count these ballots.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve and count the ballots of canvas numbers C027 through C056.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that carries.
Our next ballot is C057. This one, this voter moved address within the county, but due to a poll worker error, the voter received the wrong ballot. So our recommendation is to be a partial count. So all the races, except the precinct committee, will be counted. And that's just because of the address.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the recommendation, count all races but precinct committee on C057.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries.
Our next ballot is C058. The voter moved address within the county. The ballot the voter received and the ballot the voter should have voted only included the constitutional amendment. So our recommendation is yes. The only question they had was the constitutional amendment, regardless of what ballot they got.
Madam Chair, I move we approve C058.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries.
Our next set of ballots is C059 to C060. Two voters voted in advance. Ballot envelopes were switched, so they signed each other's envelopes within the same household. Both are eligible voters and signatures match. Voter contact was made. The voter did not cure the signature issue. The law does require a voter to sign declaration on envelope containing the voter's own ballot. Our recommendation is to reject these ballots.
Madam Chair, I move that we reject the ballots on C059 and C060.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that carries. Next.
C061, this one was due to a poll worker error. The clerk selected the incorrect voter when checking in the person on the poll book. So whenever they were to check that person, it showed they had voted, but we had selected the wrong person. After verifying that that person had not came in to vote, we went ahead and our recommendation is to count the ballot.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the ballot on C061.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that carries.
The next set of ballots is C062 to C068. In primary election, registered voter requested and received a different party's ballot than the one registered for. So our recommendation is just to do a partial count and only count the Constitution Amendment.
Madam Chair, I move that on ballots C062 through C068, that we approve the partial ballots on all of them for the constitutional amendment only.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries.
Okay, our next ballot is C069. On this one, it's a mail ballot received after the deadline without postmark. We received it August 5th, which was within the 3-day grace period. It had a meter postage from Wichita of August 3rd in Garden City and in a Garden City post office of August 5th. We don't have a recommendation on this one. I did provide a copy of the statute if you'd like to review that and base your decision off of that.
Yeah, Gabby, that's the statute, but the courts ruled that they do have 3 days, correct?
Correct, as of right now.
Madam Chair, I recommend that we approve ballot C069.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries.
Okay, our last provisional ballot is C070. The mail ballot was received after the deadline and before the deadline without postmark. We received this on August 7th, which was within the 3-day grace period. The Wichita postmark of August 6th and Garden City postmark of August 7th. We have no recommendation.
Madam Chair, I recommend that we approve ballot C070.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. Yeah, it looks like that's all we have.
Yes. So at this moment, I will have you recess as Board of County Canvassers and reconvene as Board of County Commissioners.
Okay, do we have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks for the work. I don't know, Karen and I are pretty protective of this box down here.
Okay, next we have an appointment to the Planning Commission.
Good morning, Chair and Commissioners. Mackenzie Phillips, Director of Planning and Development. The Board of County Commissioners is asked to consider and approve an appointment to the Holcomb, Garden City, Finney County Area Planning Commission. The Holcomb, Garden City, Finney County Area Planning Commission is a 9-member advisory board comprised of 4 members appointed by the City of Garden City, 3 members appointed by Finney County, 1 member appointed by the City of Holcomb, and 1 member appointed at large. Finney County has 1 member spot that has been open since February of 2026 after Jim Randall resigned from the Planning Commission. Staff has received interest from 2 Finney County residents who wish to serve as a county-appointed representative on the Planning Commission, John Griffin and Jim Carlson. John Griffin currently serves as a member of the Planning Commission appointed by the City of Garden City. He has recently moved outside of the Garden City limits into the unincorporated area of Finney County and has notified staff that he is interested in continuing to serve on the Planning Commission as a county representative. Mr. Griffin has served on the Planning Commission since January of 2026. Jim Carlson has also expressed interest in serving his community as either a member of the Planning Commission or the Finney County Board of Zoning Appeals. Mr. Carlson has been a resident of Finney County for 27 years and has 30 years of experience in federal administrative policy and land use planning and analysis. If the Board of County Commissioners selects one of the applicants, the appointed member will serve the remainder of Mr. Randall's term, which ends on December 31st of 2026. There are 3 alternatives before you this morning. First, the Board of County Commissioners may appoint John Griffin to serve as one of the county members to the Holcomb, Garden City, Finney County Area Planning Commission, with the term ending on December 31st, 2026. Number 2, the Board of County Commissioners may appoint James Carlson to serve as one of the county members to the Holcomb, Garden City, Finney County Area Planning Commission, with a term ending on December 31st of 2026. Or 3, the Board of County Commissioners may not appoint John Griffin or James Carlson and provide staff with alternative direction. And staff does not have a recommendation. And I'm available if you have any questions. Jim Carlson is also here this morning if you want to speak with him or have any questions for him.
Okay, very good. Jim, you want to come up and you have any comments for us? Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Good morning, Finney County Board of Commissioners. I have no remarks for the commission, but I thought I'd stand for questions. I've been working in the community. You're familiar with, some of you are familiar with my work, both written and policy, and so I'm here to just stand for questions.
Okay, anybody have any questions for Mr. Carlson?
I don't have a question, but a comment. If we don't select you, Jim, I'd hope you stay connected, because it looks to me like we're going to have lots of openings in the future here.
Yeah, I'm not somebody that personalizes decisions like that. So it's all good. I made my first application in 2021 for BZA and the Planning Commission. So, and then I renewed that in the spring of this year. So it's not driven by personal interest. It's driven by a couple of things. One is I've never served in my community that way. I served in the church community at length and other capacities. So, and then the second thing is that I'm trying to get to retirement. It's not working. And so, and it frees up time for my wife. If I spend too much around the house, she gets grouchy. So, any other questions for me or comments?
It's really great to see people stepping up and willing to serve, to be a servant of our community, and applaud you on serving in the church as well. But you're right, when you retire, you need to get out of the house and go do something different, or you'll hear about it. But as Larry said, if you're not selected, I hope that you stay connected, because there will be openings down the road. So,
Right, and I encourage young people too.
absolutely.
So we need younger people coming into these spots.
Thank you.
Agreed. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Just a couple of questions from Mackenzie. I think I know the answers, but so this term would expire the end of 2027. Then this, whoever is selected would be eligible to be reappointed for, what is it, a 3-year term?
Yeah, so it actually expires at the end of this year, 2026.
2026.
Yeah, so at the end of this year, whoever is selected, that position is going to be up for reappointment again. We would bring, if Jim Carlson wasn't selected, or John Griffin wasn't selected, and they were still interested, we could put their application back in that.
Okay, so this is a real short term.
Yeah.
And then if they are selected then for a full term at the end of 2026, then I guess what I'm trying to say is there are no limitations on how many terms can be served. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay,
Yep, and it is a 3-year period. Sorry, I don't think I confirmed that.
okay. All right, I just wanted to make sure that everybody was kind of aware of that this is kind of a short-term thing. I appreciate both of these gentlemen stepping up. I know there are times when we've struggled to try to get somebody to step up and do this. Mr. Griffin, I am the commissioner who's appointed to, as a liaison, I guess, to the Planning Commission, so I've been at the Planning Commission meetings, and Mr. Griffin has done a nice job. He is a younger man, which is, one of the things we do look for, and although I think that Jim Carlson would do a fantastic job, I really would like to give Mr. Griffin the opportunity to at least fulfill a whole year before he's, and the only reason that we're, considering this is because he moved into the county and is no longer eligible as a city appointee. So that would be my thoughts on this. Does anybody have any other comments?
Madam Chair, I do. We're only talking a few months, and Jim, I think you'd be a great asset to the Planning Commission. However, we're talking a few months, and rather than disrupt a few things, and John is on there, that's the only reason I'm going to make this motion is we're only talking a few months, and then would like to see, Jim, you reapply. No promises, but like to see you reapply. So I would make the motion, the Board of County Commissioners appoint John Griffin to serve as one of the county members to the Holcomb Garden City Finney County Area Planning Commission with the term ending on December 31, 2026.
Second. Oh, Larry.
Pick one. We do have a motion, a second. Any other comments? Kevin, do you have any comments for us? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. Thanks, Mackenzie.
Thank you.
Jim, thank you.
Item 6C, rezone request.
Good morning, Abigail Drummer, Planning Technician. The Board of County Commissioners is asked to consider and approve the adoption of Resolution 18-2026 to rezone the property generally located in the northeast quarter of Section 29, Township 22 South, Range 30 West, Finney County, Kansas. The applicant, Kurt Lancaster, with SMH Consultants, on behalf of the property owners, Kurt and Roseanne Huelskamp, is requesting to rezone approximately 5 acres of the property generally located in the northeast quarter of Section 29, Township 22 South, Range 30 West, Finney County, Kansas, from A Agricultural District to RR Rural Residential District. The owner is requesting to rezone the property to construct a single-family home. This property is currently undergoing the plat approval process. However, the plat cannot be approved by the Board of County Commissioners until the property is rezoned. The Finney County Future Land Use Map designates this area as agricultural. However, the A Agricultural District requires a minimum lot size of 40 acres, so a residential zoning district is more appropriate. Within the A Agricultural District, in accordance with Section 4.020, paragraph 11, no parcel of 40 acres or less may be subdivided if it is vacant or currently used for agricultural purposes, unless properly rezoned to a new zoning district. This includes corners of existing crop circles. During the plat review process, the applicant was notified that the property must be rezoned before the plat can be approved by the Board of County Commissioners. The proposed RR zoning district would allow for residential development. The Board of County Commissioners may make its recommendation and state its findings in accordance with the criteria outlined in Section 27.040 of the Finney County zoning regulations. Below is a complete list of these criteria. The Planning Commission recommended approval of the rezoning request on May 21st, 2026, and an excerpt from the meeting minutes is attached. There are 3 alternatives before you this morning. 1, the Board of County Commissioners may adopt the Planning Commission's recommendation by adopting Resolution 18-2026. 2, the Board of County Commissioners may override the Planning Commission's recommendation by a 2/3 majority vote. Or 3, the Board of County Commissioners may return the recommendation to the Planning Commission with a statement specifying the basis for the governing body's failure to approve or disapprove. Staff recommends alternative 1, the Board of County Commissioners adopt the Planning Commission's recommendation by adopting Resolution 18-2026. I'm happy to stand for any questions.
Is the applicant here today?
I don't believe so.
No? Okay. Any comments or questions for Abigail? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
I would move that we approve alternative number 1, the Board of County Commissioners may adopt the Planning Commission's recommendation by adopting Resolution 18-2026.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Very good. Abigail, do you have the next one as well? And
Yes, ma'am.
another rezone.
Yes. The Board of County Commissioners is asked to consider and approve the adoption of Resolution 19-2026 to rezone the property generally located at 7580 North Rachel Road, Finney County, Kansas. The applicant, Kurt Lancaster, with SMH Consultants, on behalf of the property owners, Susan Walker and Brian Emberton, is requesting to rezone approximately 2.44 acres of the property generally located at 7580 North Rachel Road, Finney County, Kansas, from A Agricultural District to RR Rural Residential District. There is a single-family home and a large accessory structure on the property. The owner recently purchased land east of the existing property and is currently undergoing the plat approval process to combine the 2 parcels. However, the plat cannot be approved by the Board of County Commissioners until the property is rezoned. The Finney County Future Land Use Map designates this area as agricultural. However, the A Agricultural District requires a minimum lot size of 40 acres, so a residential zoning district is more appropriate. Within the A Agricultural District, in accordance with Section 4.02011, no parcel of 40 acres or less may be subdivided if it is vacant or currently used for agricultural purposes unless properly rezoned to a new zoning district. This includes corners of existing crop circles. During the plat review process, the applicant was notified that the property must be rezoned before the plat can be approved by the Board of County Commissioners. The proposed RR zoning district would allow for residential development. The Board of County Commissioners may make its recommendation and state its findings in accordance with the criteria outlined in Section 27.040 of the Finney County zoning regulations, and below is a complete list of these criteria. The Planning Commission recommended approval of the rezoning request on May 21st, 2026, and an excerpt from the meeting minutes is attached. Again, there's 3 alternatives before you this morning. The Board of County Commissioners may adopt the Planning Commission's recommendation by adopting Resolution 19-2026. 2, the Board of County Commissioners may override the Planning Commission's recommendation by a 2/3 majority vote. Or 3, the Board of County Commissioners may return the recommendation to the Planning Commission with a statement specifying the basis for the governing body's failure to approve or disapprove. Staff recommends alternative 1, the Board of County Commissioners to adopt the Planning Commission's recommendation by adopting Resolution 19-2026.
Is the applicant here?
No, ma'am.
Okay, any comments or questions? Hearing none, we'll have a motion, please.
Madam Chair, I move that we adopt the Planning Commission's recommendation by adopting Resolution 19-2026.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Thanks, Abigail. Eric, will this one take long?
No, it should not.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, County Commissioners. The Board of County Commissioners is asked to consider and approve a reimbursement agreement between Finney County and the City of Garden City, establishing the terms for the county to fund temporary relocation costs associated with relocating the Garden City Police Department and the Finney County Sheriff's Office during construction of the new Finney County Jail and renovation of the Law Enforcement Center. On July 1st, 2025, Finney County and the City of Garden City entered into an interlocal agreement providing for the cooperative administration of a special purpose retailer's sales tax to finance the construction of a new Finney County Jail, renovation of the Law Enforcement Center, and other necessary improvements and temporary relocations associated with the project. On November 4th, 2025, Finney County voters approved the issuance of up to $87.5 million in sales tax general obligation bonds and a 0.5% countywide retailer's sales tax to fund the project. Collection of the sales tax began on April 1st, 2026. The renovation of the existing Law Enforcement Center requires the temporary relocation of both the Garden City Police Department and the Finney County Sheriff's Office. To accommodate these operations during construction, the city entered into a lease for the property located at 1210 Fleming Street and subsequently entered into a renovation agreement with the Dwayne Coster Trust and Kathy Coster Trust for improvements necessary to use the property as a temporary law enforcement facility. The city and county previously entered into a facility sharing memorandum of understanding on July 1st, 2025, establishing their mutual understanding regarding the temporary co-location of both agencies at the facility. Under the renovation agreement, the city is responsible for renovation costs not to exceed $5,439,246. In addition, the city has incurred or will incur approximately $300,000 in related relocation expenses outside the renovation agreement, including data cabling and poles, signage, access control systems, moving expenses, and furniture, fixtures, and equipment. The proposed reimbursement agreement establishes a total county payment of $5,739,246 for these costs. The agreement specifically excludes these lease payments and ongoing operational costs for the temporary facility from the county payment. These temporary relocation expenses are directly associated with the jail and law enforcement center project approved by voters. The reimbursement agreement recognizes the $5,739,246 as eligible project costs that may be financed through bond proceeds and/or revenue from the voter-approved sales tax. This is also consistent with Section 9 of the July 1st, 2025 interlocal agreement, which provides that expenses incurred by either the city or a county in furtherance of the approved public improvement projects are eligible for reimbursement. Rather than utilizing a periodic reimbursement process, the proposed agreement provides for the county to make a single payment of $5,739,246 to the city within 30 days following approval of the agreement by both governing bodies. The city will then provide the county administrator with monthly itemized statements documenting the temporary relocation costs invoiced to and paid by the city. The agreement also establishes a final reconciliation process. Within 60 days following final payment of the renovation costs and completion of the additional relocation expenses, the city will provide the county administrator with a final accounting. If actual costs are less than the $5,739,246 county payment, the city will return the savings to the county. If actual costs exceed the county payment, the overage must be brought back to the Board of County Commissioners for consideration and approval before the county is obligated to pay the additional amount. Savings and overages will be calculated against the county payment as a whole. The agreement further confirms that the existing Sales Tax Oversight Committee established jointly by the city and county in 2017 will serve as the oversight committee contemplated by the interlocal agreement. The county payment and final reconciliation will be subject to the committee's periodic review and annual reporting responsibilities. The agreement provides a defined process for funding and accounting for the temporary relocation costs necessary to maintain city and county law enforcement operations while the voter-approved jail and law enforcement center project moves forward. It also clearly establishes the responsibilities of both organizations, provides for ongoing financial reporting and final reconciliation, and requires any expenditure above the approved $5,739,246 amount to return to the Board of County Commissioners for consideration. There are three alternatives for the governing body to choose from. One, the Board of County Commissioners may approve the reimbursement agreement between Finney County and the City of Garden City and authorize the board chair to execute the agreement on behalf of Finney County. Two, the Board of County Commissioners may deny the reimbursement agreement between Finney County and the City of Garden City. And three, the Board of County Commissioners may give staff further direction regarding the reimbursement agreement and the proposed funding and reconciliation of temporary relocation costs. It is staff's recommendation to approve alternative number one. The Board of County Commissioners approve the reimbursement agreement between Finney County and the City of Garden City and authorize the board chair to execute the agreement on behalf of Finney County. And the financial impact is the reimbursement agreement requires Finney County to make a single payment of $5,739,246 to the City of Garden City within 30 days following approval of the agreement by both governing bodies. The payment consists of $5,439,246 in renovation costs and $300,000 in additional relocation costs. The county payment is an eligible project cost associated with voter-approved jail and law enforcement center project and will be paid from the available bond proceeds and/or revenue from the 0.5% countywide retailer sales tax approved by Finney County voters on November 4th, 2025. The agreement does not provide for payment of these costs from the county's general fund or other property tax-supported revenues. Following completion of the temporary location work, any savings below the $5,739,246 county payment will be returned to Finney County. Any costs exceeding the county payment must be presented to and approved by the Board of County Commissioners before the county is obligated to pay the additional amount. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions for Derek? Yes. Commissioner Utes.
Derek, I know that if it exceeds the $5,739,000 and change, that it'll have to come to the board for approval. But I hope that there's a conversation piece or connection piece between you and the city prior to having to come to here, because I sure would hate for us to get another $300,000 request and for us to have to say no, because that's where I'm going to stand at, is if this has already grown more than what I expected. And every dime we take out of pay for a temporary facility will reflect on the costs associated with the improvements at the law enforcement center. Is that correct?
Yep, that is correct. And under this agreement, the city will provide the county with monthly itemized statements documenting any costs involved with the relocation. And city's done a really good job of keeping us informed.
So I just want to make sure that we're not adding something additional and it gets purchased without prior communication with you.
Yep, so anything above that $5.7 million going forward will have to come in front of the Board of County Commissioners for approval.
Commissioner Jones?
Derek, not only will you review the expenses, that sales tax committee will review them also, too.
That is correct. That is correct.
Any other comments? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the reimbursement agreement between Finney County and the City of Garden City and authorize the board chair to execute the agreement on behalf of Finney County.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Just real quick, and you've reviewed everything as well, County Council.
I haven't. There was some significant back and forth with the city on this one, so we've gone through this one extensively.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I would like to take a break, so let's stand in recess until 9:36.
Good morning, Commissioners. Stephanie Siebert, Fairgrounds Coordinator. The Board of County Commissioners is asked to consider and approve the bid proposal from Kinney Glass in the amount of $15,670 for the replacement of the west entrance doors, frame, glass, and hardware at the Finney County Exhibition Building. The west entrance doors of the Finney County Exhibition Building have been in service since the facility was constructed in 1976. Over time, ground movement has caused the door frames to shift, preventing the doors from closing and latching properly. Previous maintenance efforts include welding the hinges to the frame, adjusting the hinges after cutting the welds, and replacing the door closers, and have only provided temporary improvements. The doors now require staff to manually align and force them closed, and they are frequently found standing open after events. This condition presents both a security concern and an operational issue. The inability to properly secure the building places county property as well as equipment belonging to event organizers, vendors, entertainers, and exhibitors at unnecessary risks. In consultation with the maintenance department, several vendors evaluated the existing doors and each recommended complete replacement of the frame and doors as the only long-term solution. Staff initiated a formal procurement process by advertising for bids beginning June 25th, 2026, and conducting a mandatory pre-bid meeting on July 8, 2026. Bid proposals were due on July 28, 2026. 2 proposals were received and are summarized below. Dick Construction attended the pre-bid mandatory meeting. Their bid amount was $26,000. Project timeline is 2 to 3 weeks construction duration. Comments submitted a responsive proposal. Scope of project was not outlined. Kinney Glass did not attend the mandatory pre-bid meeting. Their bid came in at $15,670. Project timeline is 4 to 6 weeks per procurement period, followed by a 2-day installation. Previously, they have evaluated the project and was familiar with the conditions and requirements. The scope of project is outlined. Both proposals are included in the agenda packet for the board's consideration. 2 additional vendors looked at the project but did not bid. The first was Overhead Door, who did not give a reason for not bidding. The second was Soak Up Door Company, who stated the project was outside his scope of work. The alternatives before you: number 1, the Board of County Commissioners may approve the bid proposal from Kinney Glass in the amount of $15,670 for the replacement of the exhibition west door entrance, frame, glass, and hardware. Alternative number 2, the Board of County Commissioners may approve the bid proposal from Dick Construction of $26,000. Option number 3, reject both proposals and direct staff to pursue another procurement option. Staff recommends alternative number 1, the Board of County Commissioners approve the bid proposal from Kinney Glass in the amount of $15,670 for replacement of the exhibition building west entrance doors, frames, glass, and hardware. Kinney Glass submitted the lowest responsive proposal, providing a savings of $10,330 compared to the alternative bid. In addition, the company has prior knowledge of the project through previous site evaluations, allowing them to provide a comprehensive proposal that meets the county's needs. Approval of the recommendation will result in a project cost of $15,670 to be paid from the Fairgrounds Capital Reserve Fund, GL Code 172-45-5510. The current balance of the fund is $270,182. Following the payment, the remaining balance will be $254,512. This expenditure can be accommodated within the available balance of the Capital Reserve Fund. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
Anybody have any questions?
Stephanie, will the new doors look similar to the old ones with the transients on either side and the overhead
Yes.
light?
Yes.
I just have a couple of questions or thoughts. The mandatory pre-meeting, it appears it's not really mandatory.
So what that does is it allows us to have the contractors ask questions in the same room together so that if there's a change in scope of the project, that they can all be on the same page. As Stephanie commented, that Kinney Glass was aware of the project beforehand and the requirements, so we kind of waived that mandatory requirement, but typically in other projects we'll make it mandatory. And it allows staff to understand what kind of response we're going to get from contractors as well.
Okay. I think it may be difficult at times for businesses, especially, I know Kenny Glass, probably difficult for him to get away from mandatory, so I don't know if we need to change our verbiage on that or, you know, do something a little bit differently. Also, the scope of the project was not outlined by one, but was outlined. Were our instructions not clear, or?
Yes, and that's one of the reasons why we want those mandatory meetings in there, so that they do show up, and then that the scope of the project is clearly directed towards all contractors bidding the project.
Okay. All right. Any other comments? Hearing none, we'll have a motion.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the bid proposal from Kenny Glass in the amount of $15,670 for replacement of the exhibition building west entrance doors, frame, glass, and hardware.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. Thanks, Stephanie. Item 6G, guaranteed maximum price for the new Finney County Jail Detention Center.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Commissioners.
Good morning.
The Board of County Commissioners is asked to consider and approve amendment number 1 to the Construction Manager at Risk Agreement with McCowan-Gordon Construction, establishing a guaranteed maximum price, or GMP, of $51,282,510, and approve the 5-year security electronic service contract alternate of $206,103 for a total GMP of $51,488,613, and authorize execution of the amendment. So on April 20th, 2026, the Board of County Commissioners selected McCowan-Gordon Construction to serve as the construction manager at risk for the new Finney County Detention Center, and entered into an AIA A133-2019 standard form of agreement between Finney County and McCowan-Gordon. The CMAR delivery method allowed McCowan-Gordon to participate during design and pre-construction, to provide estimating, constructability review, scheduling, value engineering, and subcontractor procurement before establishing the final guaranteed maximum price for construction. Since April, McCowan-Gordon has worked with HMN Architects, Call Valley Engineering, county staff, and the project team to advance the design, evaluate construction methods and materials, solicit subcontractor pricing, review value engineering opportunities, and establish the proposed GMP. The project is located at Kansas Avenue and VFW Road in Garden City, with the construction estimate identifying the site as 2460 West Kansas Avenue. The action before the board establishes the construction phase, cost, and contractual basis for moving the project forward. Amendment number 1 to the existing AIA A133 agreement establishes a guaranteed maximum price of $51,282,510. Under the amendment, the GMP consists of McCowan-Gordon's fee plus the cost of the work as identified or as defined by the underlying agreement. The contract sum is guaranteed by McCowan-Gordon not to exceed the approved GMP, subject to additions and deductions by change orders as provided in the contract documents. The base GMP is based off 100% construction documents and project manual prepared by HMN Architects dated June 23, 2026. Addendum number 1 dated July 9, 2026, and addendum number 2 dated July 21, 2026. Amendment number 1 incorporates the GMP proposal and clarifications, contract document log, project schedule, construction manager personnel rates, and construction management or manager equipment rates. Together, these documents establishes the scope, assumptions, clarifications, schedule, pricing, and contractual basis upon which the GMP was developed. As part of the CMR process, McCowan-Gordon conducted a competitive trade partner and subcontractor bidding process. A public pre-bid meeting was held July 7, 2026 at Garden City Community College, with 41 contractors and industry representatives participating, including 23 attending in person and 18 virtually. Subcontractor bids were received through July 27, 2026. McCowan-Gordon received 127 bids, including 15 submissions from Finney County contractors and vendors. The competitive bidding process provided market-based pricing across the major construction scopes and was used by McCowan-Gordon in establishing the proposed GMP. Throughout pre-construction, the project team also evaluated value engineering options to identify opportunities to reduce costs or provide additional long-term value with maintaining the operational security, durability, and functional requirements of the detention center. The GMP of $51,282,510 includes $337,310 in accepted value engineering deducts. Additional options were evaluated and either rejected or remained pending based on operational requirements, design considerations, long-term value, or the need for additional technical evaluation. One additional option presented for the board's consideration is value engineering alternative number 1, security electronics service contract. The base project provides 1 year of service for the security electronics scope. Alternative number 1 adds 4 additional years of service at a cost of $206,130, providing the county with a total of 5 years of service for the security electronics scope. Given the importance and complexity of the detention center's integrated security electronics, controls, access control, video management, and security automation systems, staff recommends including the additional 4 years of service as part of the project. Adding alternative number 1 increases the base GMP from $51,282,510 to $51,488,613. The security electronic systems are a critical component of the safe and reliable operation of a modern detention facility. Extending the service provides continuity of technical support beyond the initial year as county staff transitions into the new facility and gains operational experience with the systems. Including the alternate as part of the initial project also clearly establishes the cost and service commitment at the time the construction contract is approved, rather than requiring the county to address the additional service period separately after the initial coverage expires. The GMP further includes construction contingency to be administered in accordance with the contract, a 0.50% design contingency, and a 0.50% owner contingency. These amounts are included within the GMP and provides capacity to address qualifying project conditions in accordance with the contract. The board should also understand what is not included in the proposed GMP. McCowan Gardner's proposal identifies exclusions including design fees, environmental and geotechnical surveys, special inspection expenses, materials testings, FF&E, unforeseen subsurface conditions, hazardous material abatement or removal if encountered, certain utility company and system development fees, and relocation of the carousel from the existing facility. The GMP also excludes any escalation contingency and the effect of unknown material cost increases resulting from recent enacted or future tariffs. Several specific scope items require continued project management after the approval of the GMP. Extension of the gas main to the new building site is excluded. Extension of the sewer main is also excluded and is anticipated to be added through a future change order once the design is completed. The proposal includes an additional fire hydrant at the northwest corner of the site, including approximately 288 feet of additional piping. Other exclusions and clarifications are identified throughout McCowan Gordon's GMP proposal, and clarifications become part of the contractual basis for the GMP through amendment number 1. Timing is also an important consideration. McCowan Gordon's GMP proposal states that the current costs are held through August 17, 2026 commission meeting, and that escalation costs may apply if approval is delayed. The project schedule is based on receiving all required permits on or before September 1st, 2026, with potential escalation if permitting is delayed. The amendment provides the commencement is tied to execution of the amendment, receipt of applicable permits, and completed working drawings and specifications. Timing of the board's decision, therefore, has a direct relationship to the project's current pricing and construction schedule. The board should distinguish between the construction GMP and the total project budget. Prior to the November 2025 sales tax election, HMN Architects prepared a preliminary project budget estimating the total cost of the detention center project at approximately $64.68 million. The total project budget includes costs outside McCowan Gordon's construction contract. The difference between the preliminary total project budget and the GMP should therefore not be considered entirely as project savings or uncommitted funds. Owner costs, professional services, testing, equipment, contingencies, exclusions, future approved change orders, and other costs required to complete and place the facility into operation must continue to be tracked against the overall project budget. Approval of amendment number 1 in the recommended security electronic service contract alternate represents one of the largest financial commitments associated with the detention center project and moves the project from pre-construction into construction. Staff reviewed the GMP in the context of the competitive bidding process, value engineering, construction documents, allowances, contingencies, exclusions, project schedule, and overall project financing plan. Based on that review, staff recommends approval of the $51,282,510 base GMP plus the $206,103 security electronic service contract alternate, establishing a total GMP of $51,488,613. Todd Dumler, Senior Project Manager, and Alan Youngers, Pre-Construction Executive, with McCowan Gordon Construction, will help answer any questions and review the GMP. The subcontractor bidding results, project schedule, value engineering decisions, allowances, contingencies, exclusions, security electronic services contract alternate, and other components of Amendment Number 1, and answer questions from the board today. So there are 4 alternatives for the governing body to choose from. 1. The Board of County Commissioners may approve Amendment Number 1 to the Construction Manager at Risk Agreement with McCowan Gordon Construction, establishing a base guaranteed maximum price of $51,282,510, and approve value engineering alternative number 1, security electronic server agreement in the amount of $206,103, providing a total of 5 years of service with a security electronic scope for a total guaranteed maximum price of $51,488,613, and authorize the execution of the amendment. 2. The Board of County Commissioners may approve Amendment Number 1 to the Construction Manager at Risk with McCowan Gordon Construction, establishing a guaranteed maximum price of $51,282,510 without value engineering alternative number 1, and authorize execution of the amendment. 3. The Board of County Commissioners may deny Amendment Number 1 and the proposed guaranteed maximum price and not authorize execution of the amendment. And 4, the Board of County Commissioners may give staff further direction regarding Amendment Number 1, the guaranteed maximum price, value engineering alternative number 1, project scope, pricing, contract terms, and other information the board would like to address before taking final action. It is staff's recommendation that we approve, or that the Board of County Commissioners approve alternative number 1. The Board of County Commissioners approve Amendment Number 1 to the Construction Manager at Risk Agreement with McCowan Gordon Construction, establishing a base guaranteed maximum price of $51,282,510, and approve value engineering alternative number 1, security electronic service contract in the amount of $206,103, providing a total of 5 years of service for the security electronic scope for a total guaranteed maximum price of $51,488,613, and authorize the execution of the amendment. The fiscal impact on this is the approval of Amendment Number 1 and value engineering alternative number 1 establishes a total guaranteed maximum price of $51,488,613, consisting of the base construction GMP of $51,282,510 plus $206,000 for the 4 additional years of security electronic service, and the base GMP includes $337,310 in accepted value engineering deducts, identifying allowances, construction contingency, and design contingency and owner contingency. Certain costs and scopes identified in the GMP proposal and clarifications remain excluded and must continue to be accounted for within the overall project budget. The approved contract sum remains subject to additions and deductions through change orders authorized in accordance with the contract documents. The detention center project is funded through a voter-approved countywide sales tax and general obligation sales tax bonds authorized by Finney County voters in November 2025 for construction and improvements associated with the county jail and law enforcement facilities. The preliminary total project budget prepared by HMN Architects prior to the sales tax election estimated the detention center project at approximately $64.68 million. So the total recommended GMP represents the construction contract with the recommended security electronic service alternate and does not represent the total cost of the detention center project. Staff will continue to monitor the GMP, owner costs, professional services, contingencies, exclusions, change orders, and remaining project obligations against the overall approved project budget and financing plan. Approval is consistent with the Board of County Commissioners' adopted goals to strengthen financial sustainability, plan and invest in Finney County's future, and complete current capital projects. And Todd Dumler and Alan Youngers is here, along with Sean Harding with HMN Architects, to answer any questions.
Okay, gentlemen, you want to come on up?
Yeah, I know. I need a cup of water.
Do you have anything you'd like to start with for us, or just stand for questions?
No, we are very grateful to be here today, have the opportunity to speak to you. We do have some stats and some numbers that we can get into if you'd like, as far as not just Finney County participation, but Southwest Kansas as well. So we did some quick math and came up with some numbers on that.
That sounds great.
Yeah, but just, I guess we'll kind of recap what was said there. We did have 127 total bids. So Alan and the entire pre-construction team really worked hard to make sure we had good participation. 15 trade partners from Finney County bid on this project, and that was over 10 different scopes of work. So scope of work would be earthwork or concrete or steel, things like that. 7 of those will ultimately be successful, and that represents over $15 million that stays here in Finney County. Of those 10 scopes that were bid on, that if everyone was successful, it would have been $17.2 million. So $15 million of $17.2 stayed right here. Additionally, there were 15 additional trade partners from the Southwest Kansas region that did bid on the project. 8 of those will be successful, and that represents about $1.9 million worth of work, again, that stays here in Southwest Kansas. So we're really proud of that we were able to make that kind of economic impact to this area and just be part of it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Alan, do you have anything to say?
I don't have anything more to add. Derek did a great job with the write-up, so if there are any questions with our deliverable, please let us know.
All right. Does anybody have any questions?
Derek, on the numbers, there was like a $27,000 difference on the what we have in front of us versus what you were.
Yeah, I apologize. We didn't have a chance to update the memo that was presented to you on Wednesday. Staff identified an incorrect number on that, so it was the $27,460 on the GMP.
And a majority of the local contractors got the bids. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And that's very exciting, and I mean, that was number one, McGowan Gordon, you delivered what this Board of County Commissioners asked, that really focus on local bidders and our local contractors. I mean, and our local contractors stepped up to the plate, and we'll be able to keep a lot of that tax money here locally. 2, the GMP was a lot less than what I thought it would be, and thankful for your due diligence in working with the tax money available so that we can look at, we have project number 2 coming up with the Law Enforcement Center, which is going to be a bear to work with and try to meet all the requirements and the monies we have available for that. But I'm very excited to move forward. I think I can speak on behalf of Kevin and I, who worked in the building and the jail, to see this move forward. When are we going to turn dirt?
Oh. Schedule, but I think the groundbreaking ceremony, I don't know if it's officially been scheduled yet, but it's coming up.
Middle of the end of September. We're still working on the date, but it's looking like September 17th.
And then
very good.
Turning dirt about a week after.
Yeah, we'll be mobilizing the week of the 21st of September, and so we'll start to see a little bit of activity and some silk fence go in, some site fence go up, and the 1st of October we'll actually see some big yellow iron moving dirt. So it's coming quick.
As I mentioned to Derek, both Larry and I will be gone the evening of this.
KLPG and Dodge. So
Yeah, but that'll be the evening, Larry.
the evening, but if you can.
Early morning. Yeah, early morning, the evening of the 17th, and all day the 18th, Larry and I will be gone, so.
It'll be a 100-degree day and the wind won't be blowing.
Yeah. That's all I had.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Anything else? Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Absolutely.
And I'll have to refer to my notes. If I get the numbers right, please correct me, Derek. The Board of County Commissioners, I recommend that we approve amendment number 1 to the construction management at risk agreement with McGowan Gordon Construction, establishing a base guaranteed maximum price of $51,282 or $51,282,510.
Perfect.
All right, and approve value engineering alternate number 1 security electronic services contract in the amount of $206,103, providing a total of 5 years of service for the security electronic scope for a total guaranteed maximum price of $51,488,613.
That's correct.
And authorize execution of the amendment.
Second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. Very good, thank you. All right, get to work, gentlemen. Item 6H. Are we ready with, we aren't ready with the canvassers yet. Are we? Okay. All right, do we have an administrator update today?
We do not.
Okay. Then we will move on to 7B, Lana Duval.
Good morning, Chair and Commissioners.
Good morning.
From the Lana Duval, President and CEO of Finney County Economic Development Corporation. Things we've been working on, obviously, I'm sure you all have heard news. We continue to monitor cattle production numbers and the continued constriction that we're seeing in the beef harvesting industry. Obviously, very concerning for a community like ours that has enjoyed a long-term relationship with beef harvesting. So certainly concerned about that, keeping an eye on it, monitoring it to ensure that if there are going to be any changes, we can be at least as prepared as possible for those as we move forward. I'm sure Larry can fill you in on all kinds of facts and data related to the anticipation around the cattle markets. But there's a pretty widespread, I think, industry belief right now that it will be a few years before we'll see those numbers return to where they were previously. And couple with that, with the fact that we're seeing continued growth in the global demand for protein, it creates some very, very real challenges. And as you all know, beef harvesting is a value-added industry for us, so we also have the row crop that feed the cattle and the cattle on feed here. So it is certainly could be a systemic ripple and will likely continue to feel those. And for sure, as consumers, we'll continue to see those costs at the supermarket remain high. So again, large industry really impacts our community. We'll continue to monitor that. Some happy news, we have a lot of good activity going on with housing development, and not only variety of housing types, but also variety of pricing points, which is really important for folks. We continue to work on finding creative solutions to allow for more entry-level, worker-appropriate priced housing, if you will. So we'll continue to work on those. And again, we're excited to see some projects starting to move through the process of actual site planning and applying for Kansas Housing Investor Tax Credits, those types of things. So we're excited about that. On the commercial development front, we have a lot of interest right now in some of the retail development we've been working on. We've had a few hotel developers come to the table, which is exciting. We're starting to get the word out a little better about the shortage of hotel rooms that are available in the community, especially in light of the new sports facilities that are opening. So hopefully we'll be able to get some of those underway. And everybody's favorite, more restaurants are coming to the conversation with us, so we'll continue to work on those. From an industrial standpoint, we have several expansions going on within the community right now. We always love that when we have existing companies who are making investments, growing their jobs numbers, and finding additional opportunities for their products in the global marketplace. So that's exciting to see happening. And then we also have some new construction projects in the industrial sector, which is also very exciting. There will be some additional infrastructure needs tied to some of those, so we're working with them on specifically with the two projects that are moving through the process right now. Those two will both require pretty significant road infrastructure, county road infrastructure needs. So we are working with your Public Works Department and with your contract engineer to make sure that we have a good understanding of the scope of that work, the alternatives available for that, and then we can go to our partners with Kansas Department of Transportation to hopefully secure at least some portion of the funding necessary to support those two construction projects, which will bring significant numbers of jobs with them as well. So happy to answer any questions you may have. Should you have any?
Any questions? All right.
You made that easy.
Well done.
Thank you.
And monthly incidents and reports from the fire department.
Morning, Commissioners. All right, I got a couple months here with June and July. Not much. Your typical months, it looks a little discrepancy between our training hours from June to July. July is definitely down a little bit, probably a little bit because of elevated calls, and then it's just hard to get those guys out to train when it's 100+ degrees every day. So we hired one new guy, started a couple weeks ago to fill one of our 3 spots. We have 2 more starting at the end of this month, I believe on the 31st. We finished up our academy in June as well. We had 3 more firefighters make it through that. We hope to do 1 more in the fall and then be full up for, cross our fingers for a while. Other than that, I mean, very typical months. Any questions for me? Love to answer those.
Any questions?
No?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We have department monthly reports you saw in your packets. Upcoming meetings. We'll put that on the screen so you can see what's coming up there. And do we have need for an executive session today? Very good. So let's have our commissioner reports. And Commissioner Utes, would you like to start us off?
Yeah, I've been, again, working with Towns Review South on working on a solution for the water issues out there, and it looks like there's a group that is going to be putting together a petition to create a rural water district. So we'll work with, we'll get that petition put together and we'll bring it to the clerk to make sure the petition meets the requirements, and then go out and get signatures and then bring it to the, if we get enough signatures, then bring it back to the Board of County Commissioners. I and Commissioner Jones are both enrolled into attending the KLPG meeting September 17th and 18th. So we'll be attending that together.
I'll be attending that as well. So good representation.
I have it on my schedule as well, too.
Oh, great.
Since it's so close over in Dodge.
I know, yeah. Makes it nice. Commissioner Bascu, anything for you?
The only thing I have is, several weeks ago, I was contacted by a resident of Holcomb, north of Holcomb, in the addition up there in reference to barking dogs that were creating a nuisance and disturbing the peace. And so I had him contact the sheriff's office because in my thinking at the time, it was disorderly conduct under the statute disturbing the peace. But as they investigated and visited with the county attorney's office, it was felt that there wasn't a statute that met that particular requirement. And I think that he met with the county attorney, and there was a suggestion that maybe the Board of County Commissioners request of staff and our legal staff to draft a resolution for barking dogs or whatever for disturbing the peace. And so I mentioned this to see if there is any consensus among us here today to direct staff to study and draft a resolution that would help solve not just this individual, but I'm sure that there's other people in the county that may have issues with barking dogs and might need some relief legally to help with that situation.
Yeah, I think there's the issue of barking dogs. I've heard complaints on barking dogs, and most recently, dogs at large. That young parents are out walking with their children in neighborhoods, and there's a vast amount of dogs that are at large, and they become fearful. So I think, from my perspective, Commissioner Basky, I would support the thought of looking into this a little more in depth.
I would agree. I think, we have several neighborhoods in the county, and there is an ordinance in the city limits. So I think that it would be a good idea for us to adopt an ordinance in the county as well.
Larry, do you agree one way or the other?
I agree with you. Normally, if you talk to the owner in that county, that you could rectify the problem, but maybe sometimes they need a little encouragement to do something.
Derek and Kara, is that enough that you need from us to move forward with drafting a resolution for us to consider?
Yes, we can look at that. We do, just because you did mention the dog at large, there is a resolution regarding dogs at large that it's resolution 18-2015 that's already in place for that. I don't know if that's something that has been an issue with being able to enforce that, but I'm happy to look at that old resolution as well.
Yeah, you might look at it. I think that the sheriff's office does have an ACO that I know in the past has enforced the leash law and everything like that, but you might want to just check with that and check with Steve to see if there's anything that needs to be tweaked or if what's on the books is sufficient enough for that particular issue.
I'll make sure to check with them and probably reach out to the county attorney's office as well, since they'll have to be the ones taking anything to court that would result from that.
Thank you. That's all I had.
Okay. Commissioner Jones?
The only meeting I had with, that was, we selected a replacement to the recommendations of our current county treasurer, Alejandra, what? Strong, okay. I wasn't real sure on the last name. Okay, and sent the recommendation into the governor. I don't know, have you heard anything back from the governor? So we're waiting on her up or down, and normally it's not a problem, so that's the only thing of value that I've done.
All right, very good. I really didn't have a whole lot going on, other than I did attend the Builders Association luncheon last week, which was really informative, really good information for the builders as far as tax credit that is available for energy efficiency construction materials and techniques. So that was, and it goes back, you can go back and file for the years 23, 24, 25, and half of 26. So that was really good information for builders. Any of you builders who are out there listening, this is for residential construction. You might want to talk to somebody from the Builders Association and get some information on that. That's all I have. So I don't know, do we need to stand in recess until we have the canvassers ready? 30 minutes? Okay.
Madam Chair, if I could bring up one other thing.
Mm-hmm.
Commissioner Baskey reminded me, do we have any governance or resolutions covering our food trucks in the county?
We can take a look and get that information back to you.
If we could, because I've had several folks with all the foodborne illnesses, parasites, and all that going on, concerned about, I mean, I don't know what the health department does with our food trucks or inspections or licensing. I know the city has licensing going on, but I think if we don't, I think it would be who of us to revisit or look into that as well. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, so let's say about till recess until, you want to do 10:50 or 11, gentlemen? Does anybody? 10:50? Okay, we'll recess until 10:50. we are back, and I guess we're good to go.
The Board of County Canvassers is asked to reconvene and consider certification of the final results for the 2026 primary election held on Tuesday, August 4th, 2026.
I would so move that we go into, reconvene as the Board of County Canvassers.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
Okay, as the county canvass is a vital step in the election process that makes results official, confirms that all valid votes are accurately counted, and uphold public confidence in election integrity. During this formal and public proceeding, the County Board of County Canvassers may review and verify election materials and abstracts to ensure an accurate and lawful certification of results for local races. At this time, the board is asked to consider certification of final results, a review of election night results, write-ins were adjudicated as required for specific races, Kansas House District 122 for the Democrats, township offices, and precinct committee offices. A review of post-election audit results. The post-election audit is a public manual check of election accuracy conducted after every election. At least 1% of precincts are randomly selected, and bipartisan audit teams hand count all paper ballots to compare with machine totals. If discrepancies are found, additional audits are performed to ensure accuracy, transparency, and voter confidence in the results. Contests to be audited were selected and ordered by the Secretary of State Election Division. Precincts were drawn on Wednesday, August 5th, 2026, at the Finney County Election Office. The contests were United States Senate for Republicans, Governor, Democrats, Kansas House District 122, Republicans, County Commissioner District 1, Republicans, and the Constitutional Amendment. The precincts that were drawn were Riverside and Pierceville. The governor race was for the Riverside precinct, and for Pierceville, all other contests. The audit board convened on Thursday, August 6th at 9 a.m. The 5-member board retrieved, counted, and hand-tallied a total of 115 ballots, ultimately arriving at totals that matched election night results. Audit results were submitted to the Kansas Secretary of State's Election Division for review. The audit was approved by the state on Monday, August 10, 2026. A review of the change to results since election night. Mail ballots were processed and added to election night results. On election night, 119 mail ballots were accounted for. Since then, 31 ballots were then processed from either polling locations or U.S. mail through Friday, August 7th, 2026. Hand count ballots processed and added to election night results were a total of 6, with 2 of those being from election day from polling locations, 1 from early voting, and 3 from mail, which those are included in the mail number above. There were 70 provisional ballots ruled on this morning. Of those, 44 are accepted and added to election night totals. A total of 218 mail ballots were issued, 156, including 6 made provisional, were returned for a 72% turnout, a bit higher than our average of 65%. A total of 3,167 election day voters, 15% of registered voters, and 76% of turnout for this election. A total of 825 early voters, 3.9% of registered voters, and 20% of total turnout. The alternatives before you are: 1, the Board of County Canvassers may certify the result of the 2026 primary election held on August 4th, 2026, as presented as the official results. 2, the Board of County Canvassers may decline to certify the final results of the 2026 primary election held on August 4th, 2026, as presented and advise the county election office as to what additional information should be provided for successful certification. Our recommendation, in consideration of the information provided, the county election officer recommends that the Board of County Canvassers certify the results of the 2026 primary election held on August 4th, 2026, as presented as the official results. If you'd like to review any tapes, we can provide those for you.
Very good. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move that we. Okay. Second.
Okay, there's a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. And that motion carries.
Thank you.
Very good, thank
And we'll
you.
have those election results posted online by the end of the day.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you. Mr. Kreitzer, thank you. I appreciate you today. Okay. Very good.
Second his motion.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Very good, and we will adjourn as,
And I would make a motion that we adjourn today's county commission meeting.
well, do we need to reconvene first and then
Oh,
adjourn?
I would make a motion that we would convene as the Board of County Commissioners.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries, and now,
I would like to motion that we adjourn for today.
Second.
very good. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. Thanks a bunch, and I guess move on over to the next room.